The City of Waterloo, in cooperation with its many active and inspiring entities, presents Heart for the City, a chance to hear and see what's going on in our city and to meet people who serve you, teach you, entertain you, help you, all neighbors and like you. Make this a city on the move. And now, here's our host, the Honorable Quentin Hart.
Welcome to Heart for the City, Waterloo's own special programming just for you. Here we introduce some of the very interesting, fun-filled, and educational activities which might just be what you are looking for to enhance your life in this exciting city. Of course, I'm Quentin Hart, Mayor of the City of Waterloo, and it is my very firm belief that there is no doubt that we have wonderful opportunities here in Waterloo. And on each episode of Heart of the City, we emphasize aspects of Waterloo life. And I assure you, we are just scratching the surface. But that is not to say that everything is perfect. One area of local concern also, which is a national concern, is the state of our youth employment. While adult unemployment in the area is about 4.6%, the unemployment rate for ages 20 to 24 range significantly higher at 15%, and disturbingly, unemployment between the ages of 16 to 19 is 36%. And some sources say it may be even worse. But how does a young person start building a resume that includes work experience? Part-time work, after school, on weekends, or during summer vacation, because they mostly consist of minimum wage or less. For babysitting, bagging groceries, stocking retails, detasseling, working at a fast food restaurant, physical labor like painting or landscaping, detasseling. But obviously, by the statistics I just quoted, many young adults are not getting even this experience. And these jobs do not necessarily connect or train a person towards a career. But just quoting Jim Offner in the past article for the Waterloo Cedar Falls Courier, part-time work won't make any kid rich, but it does pay off in other more important ways, not the least of which is that it provides a sense of what it's like to earn a wage, a keener sense of the value of money, and a sense of accomplishment at having earned a paycheck. What can be done to introduce you to the world of work experience? We will be right back with some of those answers after this brief announcement.
I believe in nature.
I believe in the spirit.
I believe in trust.
Beauty.
I believe in my mom.
Strawberry ice cream.
Fortune cookies.
Chocolate.
I believe in
The Tooth Fairy.
being honest with yourself.
I believe in Santa Claus.
Aliens, of course. I believe what I want to believe.
I believe in myself.
I believe in myself. I believe in peace.
Welcome back. The Mayor's Summer Youth Program, overseen by Cedar Valley Iowa Works, received a $20,000 grant from the Community Foundation of Northeast Iowa and R.J. McElroy Trust to provide minimum wage or livable wage jobs to people between ages 16 and 24 looking for work experience. It was supported by me as mayor and approved by the City Council in April. And here to provide more information on this most successful program are Michele Clark, team lead, and Patti, Mohling, workforce development specialist of WIOA, young adult program sponsored by the Cedar Valley Iowa Works. So welcome, Michele and Patti. And thank you for being here to share your experience on this year's summer youth season. You know, the interesting part, this part was just for the summer, but you have been engaged in this type of work for a long time. So would you tell us, I saw the word WIOA, and people may not know exactly what that means, but could you tell us what WIOA means?
Sure. We're a federally funded program through the Department of Labor. Our funding is to provide wages through work experiences where we employ young people who are eligible for our program, in work experience activities that can last up to 26 weeks
Wow.
in duration. So we work with a lot of students that don't have any work experience or very limited work history.
Okay, okay. And you know what's interesting? How long have you been doing this?
I have been with the WIOA youth program now. This will be my 18th year.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Okay,
So
okay.
we've been around a while, and
You must have started when you were in the program.
not quite.
Okay.
Soon after.
Okay, okay, okay. And Patti, how long have you been with the program?
With this particular program, I think it's been 4 years.
Okay, okay. Wow, wow. So you get an opportunity to work with youth. Do you only work with Waterloo youth?
No,
Okay.
no. Mayor Hart, we serve a 5-county area. Blackhawk, Buchanan, Butler, Bramer, and Grundy counties are the 5 counties that we serve. You had asked me what WIOA stands for,
Right.
and actually it's federal legislation that stands for Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Program.
Okay, okay.
Or Opportunity Act, excuse me. So that's our program where we receive our funding dollars from. And then, as I said, there is eligibility for our program for somebody to receive assistance. But we do other things besides work experiences. We work with a lot of students that have dropped out of high school and are
Right.
going back and wanting to finish their high school completion through places like the Metro Campus, Hawkeye Community College Metro Campus. We have students that are still in high school that we work with as well. But a huge part of our budget is set aside specifically to give students the chance to
Okay.
do work experiences.
Okay, that's fantastic. So a lot of services, and that's one umbrella of Cedar Valley Iowa Works. Just before we dive into the summer youth program, Patti or Michele, you want to tell me a little bit about some of the other services that are provided at Cedar Valley Iowa Works?
Oh, sure. We have several services at the Cedar Valley Iowa Works. One of them is, of course, people come and they actually file for unemployment or employment services. We have a business service team that talks to employers and seeing what they are in need of, and we have a Iowa Works website that people can look and register, and I think there's like 1,700 jobs on there right now of just in this area, in our area, that employers are looking for people to be employed at.
So just a myriad of services to help people be successful in life, to get jobs, to find jobs, to working with you. So incredible amount of services that are provided. And while we're saying that, and we're not ending, but where is the location at again?
We are located in the North Star building on
Okay.
University Avenue. It's 3420 University Avenue.
Okay, okay. So this year, you had a brand new mayor that came to you and said, hey, we want to put even more kids back to work.
We did.
And you were a great help. But can you tell us a little bit about the Mayor's Summer Youth Program, what it involved?
Yes. Well, as you know, our mayor came to us and proposed this idea of putting more young people back to work this summer. This is something Patti and I do year-round, so this wasn't anything new for us. We just had to have some stipulations of, again, we were looking to employ those students in Waterloo.
Right.
So they weren't from our surrounding counties or Cedar Falls location. These were all Waterloo students that were between the ages of 16 and 21.
Okay.
So some of them had already graduated from high school, and some of them were still going to high
Right.
school. But for the most part, we just kind of took an application from them, see what their follow-through was. We had them come in for an orientation and talked about the program, filled out all the paperwork so we could get them on our
Right.
payroll.
Okay.
And then we worked to try and place them in jobs that they would be interested in or things that they thought they'd like to learn more about. And then after that, we placed them in career training workshops. Basically, it's kind of soft skills, work
Right.
readiness
Right.
workshops.
Right. And what are some things like, what if I showed up about 10 minutes late for the job? So when you say soft skills, like what in particular do you mean? Some examples.
Some of our soft skills that we're talking about is being on time, your appearance, the attendance like we talked about. Some of it was, we had a program called Bring Your A Game, where it talks about being respectful and choosing your attitude at work,
Right.
that sort of thing. And so we teach that to the students. That's one thing we teach. We also teach how to get along with others in the in your work site. There's several soft skills that we teach.
Communicate,
yes.
And just understanding the differences and different personalities and how you're there to work and not be somebody's best friend, but obviously
I needed to come to the workshop myself.
well, they're free. I'm sorry, they're not free. They're of no charge.
Right.
So they're open to the public. Anybody can sign up to register for the workshops that we offer at our center.
And you know what's interesting about it? You hear the statement, two statements, but one person said, no one rises to low expectations. And so when you think about it, going into a job, and a young person may think, oh, that's just McDonald's, or oh, that's just the tasseling. You know, what they are building is a work ethic. They are building their professional career, even though it's starting at this age. So how you step into that job, how you see yourself working there is huge. Another thing I was thinking about too, you only get one opportunity to make a first impression. Now, we always, we can make mistakes, right?
Yes.
But when you step into that job and you meet Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so, and you go in there, you have a nice, strong handshake, you show them that you're ready, and they remember that. You know, these folks could actually be potential references down the road. I remember I wasn't in this particular program, but I remember having a summer job. I remember being on the side of a bridge digging post holes, or had an opportunity to go kayaking or cutting lawns. But people remember when you work for them and how you worked as well.
Definitely.
So and it takes it to the level of, and so one thing that's also great is you're teaching them how to be employable.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Right.
I want to thank all of you for your speedy work. I just got elected and already calling you on the telephone, tried to put something together. We want to thank Community Foundation, the McElroy Trust, Cedar Valley at Works, at Iowa Works. But I want to thank you also, and please let Christy know. Thank her
will.
as well for the support. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here and telling us this very positive story on youth employment. The program, the Mayor's Summer Youth Program, given future grant opportunities, will happen again somewhere. But we absolutely would love to do it again. And as Michele had so aptly pointed out, it was kind of a no-brainer. So don't go away. We will be back after this important message.
We're celebrating 10 years of Pink, and we want you to join us. The 10th annual Pink Ribbon Run, Saturday, October 1st, 8 a.m. in beautiful downtown Cedar Falls. Registration is open. You can register by going to beyondpinkteen.org or call 319-277-0213. All money raised by this event goes to the Beyond Pink Teen Breast Cancer Coalition and helps local women. Register for the Pink Ribbon Run today.
And again, thanks for staying with us. Without a doubt, and in my experience, the Head Start program is an important and significant social and educational investment in children, families, and communities. The Head Start project was launched in 1965 as a comprehensive child development program. Over the past 50 years, it has provided a window of opportunity for success in the life to more than 32 million low-income and other vulnerable children and their families across the United States. Established the same year as the National Head Start program in 1965, the Tri-County Child and Family Development Organization works locally to assist children and their parents to achieve their full potential as they struggle with day-to-day issues. Recently, the Board of Directors made an incredibly great decision of Tri-County Child and Family Development Council, Inc., and announced the selection of Dr. John M. Berry as Executive Director, CEO of Tri-County Head Start, replacing Kim Young Kent, who served as Executive Director, CEO for 25 years. Dr. Berry, or some say Mr. John, as he likes to be called, is with us to tell us more about Tri-County Child and Family Development Council. So welcome, John, to Heart of the City.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor.
How are you?
Thank you very much.
Can you tell us a little bit about who Dr. Berry is, please?
Well, it's thank the board for affording me this opportunity. I'm following, as I like to refer to, Kim Young-Kent. After 25 years of exemplary leadership as the legend, born and raised in New York, so don't hold that against me as I'm a Yankee.
Okay. That's okay. Iowa plays Rutgers. So
and spent professionally a majority of my time in higher education in the South. But my personal CEO was born and raised here. Gwen Culpepper, or Gwen Berry as we know her now, who is the newly minted Chief of Diversity at the University of Northern Iowa. So I decided to throw my hat in the ring, and I got an opportunity to work with what I refer to as Iowa's precious kernels of corn.
Right. Okay. Okay. So when we hear the words Tri-County Child and Family Development Council, can you tell us what does that mean? What is that about?
Well, it's a lot more involved and intricate than a lot of folks assume. And one of the things that is my charge by the board and the staff and our precious kernels of corn is to get the compelling and powerful story out there of what we do. Head Start can be bifurcated into two main components. Early Head Start, child-based early Head Start, which is where we literally go into the homes 90 minutes a week to work with prenatal care and also little ones. And then there's Head Start 3 years to 4-year-olds, in which we start to systematically get them ready for K through 12. Primarily kindergarten, but I like to be longitudinal in my goals to say not only just kindergarten, but their total existence, if you will, as it relates to first grade all the way up to the 12th grade and on to college.
You know what was interesting? Several years ago, there was a lot of conversations around the state about dollars that will be cut from the programming and early childhood programming. Can you tell us what type of impact does early childhood programming have on the longevity or success of a young person?
Well, it's clear a few things that in terms of human development, studies indicate that 85% of a human being's brain capacity happens in terms from birth to 3 years of age. So it's important that you get in there and you start stimulating the human being, if you will, our young ones as it relates to what they are going to be faced with. And with the 21st century, with things moving so fast in their environments, and one must be able to pivot, some of the exciting things that I was not aware of coming from higher education, but I know that we are recipients of their early Head Starters in K through 12. We're now dealing with math, language acquisition, and also learned that rhyming is extremely important as it relates to language acquisition and acquiring skills. We're also dealing with collaborative playing as a part of leadership development. So if one can believe this, we have report cards as a golden assessment, if you will, a standard testing instrument that deals with math, social studies, language acquisition skills, behavioral skills, motor functioning, all the things that teachers primarily in the elementary phase of one's life in terms of education, we start there and then build upon it. So it's extremely important.
And you know what's interesting, you know, starting 50 years ago, federally started program, Tri-County started 50 years ago. The interesting part is when we take a look at the family structures today versus prior, what are some of the challenges that families face? You would think in some situations that early childhood push and reading books, but families are facing some real challenges. What are some of the challenges you're seeing families facing today in being able to get their young people launched?
Well, obviously, the economy plays a pivotal role in that, and the lack of jobs. And one of the things that the founders of Head Start, with their creativity, baked into the overall Head Start command and control and communication, to borrow from the military, is the Policy Council. The Policy Council, like the Board of Directors, receives briefings on budget, how well the children are doing in both cohorts, early Head Start as well as Head Start, and they vote on it, and they are involved with the process. The Policy Council is the incubator in which parents, as a classic example, the meetings are ran with Robert Rules of Order to teach them systematic leadership skills, to afford them the opportunity to also enhance their ability to deal with and negotiate their children's education. Wow, okay. And we have also systematically worked on bringing in guest speakers and partnering with other nonprofits to deal with job skill readiness and financial literacy. All of those empowering platforms that are needed to move 21st century families along. So Policy Council, and I'm glad you asked me that question, is in conjunction and along with the Head Start operation for the children.
Right. And you mentioned a little bit earlier about some of the services you provide. Do you want to dive into some of the main ones, or they're all main, but do you want to dive into any of those in particular?
Well, some of the things I was not aware of, and when I assumed command, that we have a cadre of nurses that go out to the homes in early Head Start and deal with myriad of things as it relates to young mothers and young fathers. That teach them how to deal with neonates/infants.
Okay, I was
neonates, yeah. And, you learn new nomenclature to deal with the newborns, as well as the other children 1 to 2 years of age. But we take, I've hugged and cradled 2 and 3 month olds at our center, and bring them along as well. One of the things that I wish last year, it was our fortune to serve 929 children. Young Ken, and the overall operation has done an exemplary job. We know, and you know as well, that as it relates to low-income families, we have the capacity to do much more.
Right.
So I'm asking and appealing to the local churches, and we also partner with other nonprofits, Operation Threshold, Lutheran Services, and the hospitals and People's Clinic, I believe that's the name of the clinic. Right. We have a dietitian on board that we consult with. So it is, we try to deal with an encompassing, systematic cocoon of empowerment and transformation for the young person, as well as the family. Right. Hence, that's why the name Children and Family is baked into the overall name.
And then when you said capacity, what about the funding? Where does the funding come from? Is it local? Is it state? Is it national? But how do you provide?
We have some DHS funding. We also DHS mandated and licensed. And would like to build out that relationship. But primarily, our $7.5 million budget is primary federal funds with state block grants. And we partner with Operation Threshold and others, Valley Promise, to bring all of those various funding sources together to serve the children and the families. One of my tasks is to then reach out to the corporate sector and also foundations to say, these young people, while kernels of corn, will be this state of Iowa's next generation of second 21st century leadership.
Have you incorporated any STEM-related programs yet?
Yes, I'm glad you asked that. We partnered with, and Kim, my predecessor, reached out to the state of Iowa, Iowa State, excuse me, and we have begin the STEM project with the 4-year-olds.
Good.
Science, technology, mathematics. Yes, absolutely.
And what determines eligibility? Which children can participate or families?
Primarily the federal indexing of poverty. And that's how we use that to gain entrance. But let me just also say that there is, although it's a poverty index to gain entrance to Head Start, we treat them like they're platinum and gold.
Right.
I encourage your listeners and those who are watching to pay a visit to see just how well organized and how finely tuned this operation is.
Right. And you mentioned earlier about the groups that were served, the ages. Can you mention that one more time?
Well, Early Head Start is from prenatal to approximately 3 years of age. And at 3 years of age, we have those youngsters in classrooms, and then we move them from that classroom setting to the seniors, if you will, the 4-year-olds. And the 4-year-olds, the primary emphasis and focus is transitioning them for a successful kindergarten experience.
Right, okay. So a myriad of different services, great opportunities, helping to get young people off or children off in the right direction in their lives. As you mentioned earlier about the statistics about early involvement, early engagement, brain capacity. I mean, this was a show. Yes. This was a segment right here. So, Dr. Berry, is there anything else you would like to tell those watching about if it's parenting or encouraging a child or about services you provide?
Well, please come visit our various centers. The telephone number is 319-235-0383. Again, 319-235-0383. Come by, visit, see the outstanding job that we're doing and your public dollars in play.
Right.
And we're also registering for the 2016-2017 academic year.
All right. So thank you very much. And I want to thank you for taking time to visit us. And I encourage anyone eligible to take advantage of the programs provided by the Tri-County Head Start Services. Could you tell us once more, again, how to find out about enrollment?
You can call 319-235-0385 or come by the main headquarters, which is 205 Adams Street.
And also, you can also reach at www.tricountychildandfamily.org. Again, thank you very much, Dr. Berry. We all appreciate the energy, skill, and experience you bring to giving children and their caretakers a head start in life, educationally and more. And well, there are some very exciting things also that's going on as we transition to the area of sport. We have first-class baseball with the Bucks, first-class hockey with the Blackhawks, and now let's take a look at this sport in its first year in Waterloo.
This week, I try to keep up with Waterloo's newest team. This summer begins the first season of Waterloo's brand new minor league basketball team, the Cedar Valley CourtKings.
This past winter, the Midwest Basketball League, a brand new exposure developmental minor league basketball league, started up, and they were looking for another team in their West Division. So I said, I'm going to go for it, try it, bring this team to town.
Rima held open tryouts and recruited former college players from UNI and other area schools.
I was out there in Portugal this last season playing, and I checked my Facebook message one time, and Gary Rima sent me a message and said, you know, he was picking up a team down here. So, you know, any opportunity I can get to come back here, you know, I'm always up for that opportunity.
The thing that I keep telling everybody is how high the level of talent is. I mean, we've got guys that have played professionally overseas. UNI guys are people that everyone in the Cedar Valley is familiar with.
I decided to join the CourtKings at a recent practice to see how good these guys are, and maybe to see just how bad I am. How did I look in comparison to the guys?
You know what? If I had a roster spot available, I did notice you were doing a lot of push-ups, though, and usually if you miss free throws, you got to go do push-ups, so maybe work on the free throw shooting.
Even though I didn't make the team, fans still have plenty to look forward to this season.
We got a lot of guys from actually that played college around the area, the Iowa area, so I'm pretty sure that it might be a familiar faces for a lot of fans.
You're going to see really good basketball. You may see a future NBA guy come through this league, or a guy that goes overseas and does really well.
Join me in cheering on the CourtKings at their first home game, Sunday, May 15th at the Cedar Valley Sportsplex. For more information about the places we saw today, check out the Travel Waterloo blog at travelwaterloo.com and visit our YouTube channel for a look at past episodes and travel ideas.
Welcome back to Heart of the City. Waterloo was once home of the NBA's Waterloo Hawks, which played here from 1949 to 1950. And that was the end of our pro basketball until last April when a minor league professional basketball franchise team called the Cedar Valley CourtKings debuted as part of the new 9-11 team basketball league. Well, the Cedar Valley CourtKings made history by playing their first game in the brand new Midwest Basketball League, NBL, Saturday night on April 23, 2016. And despite having 7 players scoring in double figures, the CourtKings fell to the Chicago Clovers 109-95 at Hyde Park Academy High School in Chicago. But all in all, it was the beginning of a very successful and exciting season. And to tell us just how exciting it is, Gary Rima, owner and CEO. It's so nice to have you here today, and let's talk some basketball right now. Gary, how are you today?
Great to see you, Mayor Hart. Thanks for having us. You're a basketball fan, too. You love the sport of basketball, I understand.
I do. I keep a little game in my back pocket in case I have to show my sons I still have it. But, yeah, just this season, you know, highs and lows, exciting time. You faced some adversity through the season, though. You want to talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we really did. Well, first of all, just the schedule. We had to open up our first 2 games on the road in Chicago against the Chicago Clovers and the Chicago Fury, 2 really good minor league basketball teams out of the city of Chicago. We went in there and lost both those games, so we're off to kind of a rough start. We're 0-2, brand new team. We're kind of trying to find our way, and then we have a bye week, and then tragedy strikes our team. Our starting point guard, our team leader, one of the guys that we really felt was going to be a big leader for us in our first season, Rashad Carrington, passes away in a one-vehicle car accident during that bye weekend, and it really hit our team hard. Of course, everybody on the team became friends of his, but he also had some college teammates of his that were also on this team. A couple of them lived with him. It was really tough, and we had to play our home opener that following weekend. We had a tremendous crowd, and we won our first game. And losing Rashad, the players, the front office staff, the coaches, we dedicated the rest of our season to Rashad and in his name, and it just felt like he was with us every step of the way. We actually won 13 of our last 15 games. We went 13-4. We brought home a championship to the city of Waterloo, and which really made it a very, very special season, even though we did face some of that adversity early on.
You know, one of the things I thought was really special, probably about a month ago with our city council, we had a proclamation for Rashad Carrington Day. And can you tell us about, you did a couple community service activities?
Absolutely, and we appreciate you honoring Rashad that way also. It was Rashad Carrington Day. In between our final regular season game and the playoffs in Minneapolis, we held a free kids basketball clinic, kids 8 to 15. Chuck Rowe at the Boys and Girls Club has been so gracious to our basketball team to let us use that facility for some practices, and we held a free youth clinic, boys and girls, great turnout, Mayor Hart. And our players, I think, had as much fun as the kids did, but they all got a T-shirt, a Read to Succeed Rashad Carrington T-shirt. We got them free pizza, and they got to spend some time with our pro basketball players. So that was just another really neat kind of honor and special thing we did in Rashad Carrington's name.
Right, and I think I mentioned it earlier. How many teams were in the league?
It was an 11-team league. There were 6 teams in the Midwest, in the West Division, which is our division, the MBL West. Teams out of Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, and we were the only Iowa franchise in the West. And then the East Division had teams from Indiana and Ohio. And then the top 3 teams in each division played in Minneapolis for the MBL championship.
Did you ever have to play the Clovers again?
We didn't. We didn't play the Clovers again. We just had the one game with them. The Lincoln Lions actually replaced the Clovers about mid-season. They ran into some issues with the Clovers team, and Lincoln, which was a branding team in our league, and they're doing an outstanding job there. They're going to be a really good franchise moving forward. We played them 2 times in replace of the Clovers, and we did beat them both times.
Okay,
So
well, that counts for beating the Clovers. You hear that, Clovers?
That's right.
Clovers, we're coming. We're coming next year, so get ready.
That's right.
All right. So you lost the first 2 games, went 13 or 15 for the next 15 games,
Right.
ended up with a record of 13-4.
We were 10-4 in the West Division, which got us a second-place finish, and our only 2 losses since we lost those first 2 games were to the Minnesota Rangers, a really strong team out of Minneapolis. They beat us at their place the 2 times we played them. We didn't get a chance to host them this year, which is kind of a quirk in the schedule, but we played them twice at their place. They beat us by 3 points both games. So we took the 2 seed into the playoffs in Minneapolis, and they were the 1 seed. And then we had to win 3 games in 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we met the Rangers in the championship game, the team that had beat us, the only other 2 losses we had. And we beat them 108 to 98 to bring the championship back to Waterloo.
All right, that is excellent. And we say bring the championship back to Waterloo, but you must have a court that you play at.
We played the Cedar Valley Sportsplex.
Okay.
I got to tell you, Mark Gallagher, Craig Denner, the staff at the Sportsplex just did a great job hosting us and letting us have our home games in that facility. And I got to tell you, too, Mayor Hart, the teams that got a chance to play us here at the Sportsplex were just in awe of that beautiful facility. Just felt like we had a really neat thing going with our home court, with the fan support, the business support that we had. So we hope to keep that going, keep that moving forward, and we're already talking about year 2 of Cedar Valley CourtKings basketball.
So next year you had pretty decent fan support this year, and next year I think that expectation is going to be higher. You have a track record of success. These young guys are coming in here, they're working hard. They're not only just playing basketball, as you said earlier, they're also having an impact on our community with the Boys and Girls Club. So more than just basketball, but it provides such a great opportunity here. If a person wants to have season tickets and those types of things, how is that done?
Best way to get a hold of us, our website is active that way, where they can go to cvcourtkings.com. That's where you can purchase season tickets, single game tickets. They can also call our ticket office at 319-404-5941. We have our basketball office. It's kind of cool. We're right across the street in the National Wrestling Hall of Fame Dan Gable Museum. We've got our basketball office in there. They've been a great host for us. Pretty cool setup there. So we're right across the street from where we play our home games. People can stop by and see us there too.
Well, that is a good thing, because one time I brought a basketball into wrestling practice, and that didn't go over so good. The players come from all over. Are they from the local area? Where are the players?
We had a really nice mix of that this year. The way we recruited our team, signed our team, being involved in UNI Panther basketball, I knew a number of college players that I thought this would be a great opportunity for them to try and work their way up the pro basketball ladder. And the first guy we signed was Marvin Singleton, out of Minneapolis, played for the UNI Panthers. Marvin was on that 31-4 team that made it to the NCAA tournament a couple of years ago. We signed Anthony James, a guy that was on UNI Sweet 16 team in 2010. St. Louis, a young man who lived in the Cedar Valley area all summer. He's actually took a job with the Boys and Girls Club, working with them and playing basketball. And then we had 3 open tryouts. So we just opened up the doors and had 3 different dates where people could come and just try out for the team. And we actually signed 8 more players through
Wow.
our open tryouts.
Okay.
We did have one player that came in from North Carolina that played for us this year. And we had players from Cedar Rapids, a couple of players from Dubuque. Matt Kraft, a local lawyer in town, through our tryout system, made the team.
With the glasses on.
Yes, yeah.
Not Rambus, but maybe.
A little longer hair, and he could have been our Kurt Rambis. But great team member,
Yeah,
great guy
great
that just
guy.
wanted to be part of it. The other thing, too, that was really, I thought, cool with this team, Mayor Hart, is we signed 14 players. We had a 14-man roster. When we went to the championship weekend in Minneapolis, 11 of those 14 were still with us. We lost Rashad Carrington in that car accident.
Right.
Jordan Cedar, the big 7-footer that played at UNI, was on that Sweet 16 team, had signed with us, but he had a knee injury that he hadn't healed from, so he wasn't able to play. He was one of the 14. And the other guy that didn't play for us in the championship series was Andre Norris, who played all year with us, but 2 days before the playoffs, he signed a pro contract with CB Clavijo out of Spain.
Wow.
So he's headed to Spain to continue his pro career.
Which was my next question. Are there opportunities for people to move on up to different leagues, or?
Absolutely, and that's a big objective of this league. Our league is an entry-level exposure league for basketball players who want to try and work their way up. Maybe they had aspirations of playing in the NBA but came up short. Maybe they wanted to get into the D League. It didn't work out. This is a league where they can play. We've had about a half a dozen players that played in our league this spring and summer from our team and different teams that have already signed to go overseas and play. We think Anthony James and Marvin Singleton will be signing contracts soon, but there's a lot of opportunity for these guys to move up, and that's a big objective of ours, is to help these guys continue up that ladder of pro basketball.
And just real quickly, before we go to close out, can you tell me, do you have sponsors or people that support it and help push you forward? And then we want to hear about a little bit of this hardware. We want to take a look at that.
Well, I'm glad you brought up our sponsors, because it takes a pretty good budget to make this team operate, to make it successful. And we had a large list of businesses, sponsors that stepped up in year one, not really knowing totally what they were sponsoring, Mayor Hart. I mean, they just, you can tell them what your vision is and what you want to try and accomplish, in Waterloo, in the Cedar Valley with this basketball team, and just can't thank them enough. And I think that will grow too, just like we hope our fan base will grow. But really appreciate all those businesses that did sponsor us in year one, and we'll be calling on them in year two too, to help us keep this thing going.
You hear that, right? You will be receiving another call. You want to tell us a little bit about this?
Well, one of the cool things, this Midwest Basketball League, Mayor Hart, it is a brand new league. This was not only the inaugural season for the Cedar Valley CourtKings, this was the first year for the Midwest Basketball League. There's been some guys working on this league for a number of years, and it came to fruition this year with this 11-team league. And there can only be a first ever champion in any league. And to bring it to Waterloo as the first ever Midwest Basketball League champions. We won 3 games in 3 days. We beat the Indiana Dream on Friday. We beat the Dayton, Ohio Air Strikers on Saturday. And in the championship game, third time a charm, we beat the Minnesota Rangers, another really good team, to bring the championship home.
So when they heard Cedar Valley and you play in Waterloo, everyone's heard of the Cedar Valley that you played.
Yes, they have. They now
do now.
know. They know us now, yes.
All right, all right. Thank you so much, Gary, for bringing us this exciting sport and using our new Sportsplex as well. We all wish you another successful season next year, starting in the spring. Don't go away. We'll be back in just a few moments.
The Cedar Valley Sportsplex is your destination for fitness and recreation. You'll have access to over 50 classes per week in our state-of-the-art facility at no additional cost. Work out with like-minded individuals through our circuit training, aqua jam, and more. Customize your workouts on over 60 pieces of pre-core equipment. Our qualified personal trainers can help you achieve your fitness goals. Worried about the kids? Childcare offered 7 days a week.
Again, welcome back. Well, that's our show. Please let us know your suggestions, comments, and provide positive or negative feedback. We're listening. And remember, these episodes are available for viewing from the City of Waterloo website at cityofwaterlooiowa.com. and go to the YouTube link that says View Meetings, then go to Past Meetings, and then there you will find each episode among the videos there. A comprehensive list of all activities, events, dining, recreation, education, and more can be found on the Waterloo Convention and Visitors Bureau website, travelwaterloo.com, and I know you will be impressed. So please join us next time, and thanks for watching Heart of the City. And until then, I always like to say, it's a great day to be in Waterloo.